Hello Booktube, and welcome back to my channel and to a book haul. My reading this week has been comforting and oddly specific. I call it mood reading on steroids. Before I start my book haul, I just wanted to mention that I'm wearing a tuberose lei, and there's a reason for this. Tuberose is related to a rose, but it's a different genus, and it has a different fragrance than roses do. Very beautiful, beautiful fragrance, and there's a reason I'm wearing this. We have a new member in our family, and I will talk about that in a minute. But back to my reading this week, because it is weird. It has been a weird week. Okay, so I develop comforting compulsions when I'm going through any kind of anxiety. And one of my compulsions is to read the same genre of book, different books of the same genre. And usually they're genres that are a comforting genre, but not always. So why do I need comforting? Well, a lot of people say, well, life. I don't like that saying. I don't like that saying because I think it kind of hides what the person is going through. And when I'm anxious, like I said, I have an anxiety disorder, so I get anxious when things are changing, different things are happening, even good things. So I've had some medical testing this week, and every day this week I had to go somewhere, which is very difficult for me because I've also suffered in the past from agoraphobia, which is the inability to leave the house. So now I can leave the house, but when it's on a day after day after day basis, and some of the things aren't exactly fun things, I develop anxiety, and I use reading as a way to comfort myself. And that's what I've done. But the good thing, and why I'm wearing this lei, is that my daughter's fiance arrived, and she's getting married. My daughter's getting married, and we have a new member in our family. And sometimes that can be a little anxiety producing, but my daughter's fiance is a wonderful person and so easy to get along with. And this is actually her lei. I'm stealing it. The tuberose is very delicate, so I wanted to wear it, enjoy it. She enjoyed it too. Yesterday she was wearing it, and they don't last very long, but they're beautiful. Maybe they're not as beautiful as some other leis, but the fragrance, the fragrance is so wonderful. So I've been busy getting ready for the new member in our family, and I've been decluttering, and this is going to come up in a big way very soon. And like I said, my medical test came out okay. It's the same as last year. It was, in case you're interested, it's called an arterial duplex, where they use duplex for two ways of checking the arteries in your legs. And I have to say it was quite painful. I had it done in 2019, and then I didn't notice how painful, because it's a different technician, maybe a higher level that they've come to in the medical discovery of things. So they press, it's almost like the mouse of a computer, but disc-like and heavier, and they press it really, firmly again to see and hear the arteries of your legs. And so I've been in, and it caused a flare-up. Also, I've been doing a lot of exercise because one of my little compulsions is before any test, I think like, well, I better start doing what the doctor said the last time, which is walking. So I've been doing a lot of exercise, and then getting rid of things, and I didn't realize that. If you've ever moved in your life, how do you feel right after the move? Are your joints aching? Well, you know, if you have a chronic pain illness, mine is osteoarthritis. Oh my goodness, I sound like 110. But anyway, you're going to feel it more. And I didn't realize that packing, why I didn't realize it, I haven't moved for a long time. So I didn't realize that packing things away and making room for another person is actually work. It's actually exercise. And it's been very warm here. Like for here, it's like 91 at the highest this week. And I've been doing a lot of exercise. So anyway, back to the books. So I found a book while I was packing stuff away. And the book is a book I've had from the 80s, but this is a new copy, a new reprinting. Well, new, I think it's 2003. It's Dawn Aslett's For Packrats Only. And if you ever want to just laugh and feel good about a book, whether you're a packrat or not, I really recommend this book. And Dawn Aslett passed away. I found this out after I started rereading this wonderful book about how to clean up, clear out, and de-junk your life forever. It's hilarious. If you want to laugh, the illustrations in this book is, I mean, I'll just show you a few. There's a funny one about you got to wait till you're in the mood. Mood can enable us to move mountains, including those man-made clutter peaks. And you could see, I mean, it's really funny. And the funniest one that really related to me, being a writer and always keeping a diary, was the paper tiger. And I'm going to look for that one and get back to you in a sec. The mighty paper tiger has mighty big litters. I thought that was apropos to my problem with keeping stuff. And he also has a down at the mouth resuscitation chart, the common ailments of your clutter as you pull it from storage. And one is rusted, broken, chipped, stained, rotted, wrinkled, faded, weight damp, mildewed, rodentized, baked, frozen, dated, moth-eaten, scratched, or gouged. Is restoration worth it? And it comes with all of these wonderful illustrations. So, and not only that, but he was a wonderful man, like I said, and he really believed that keeping stuff, he was more of the modern kind of minimalist who believed that stuff can really affect your life in negative ways when you have too much stuff. And here's the problem. There's a mountain of junk. So Dawn Aslett knows all of us are part packrat with piles of stuff stashed in our homes, etc. To fix the problem before it buries you, the surefire clutter cleanup plan that will rid you of household junk forever. So inspiration, information, and a lot of fun. So then what did I do? Of course, I went down a rabbit hole to my library and I bought his first book, well, his first two books that have also been remodernized up to a point. This was his first book, Clutter's Last Stand. It's time to de-junk your life. And a lot of people read this, and it was a million bestseller. And he was a cleaning expert, so he had to clean people's houses. And he noticed that when a house was cluttered, it was so much harder to clean. And that's how he started. He was a business person. He was a church-going person. but somebody who really, he never was moralizing. He more or less just was a good person, and it showed through his books. This is the second edition, and this one is Lose Your Clutter, Change Your Life. So it's basically similar with less illustrations, and it really got me thinking and laughing, and as I said, I wanted more, as one does. And this was his first book. It is more designed to his cleaning background, and is their life after housework. And these are all reprints of the 1980s books. So he has a lot of books, and I'm going to read some of them. I didn't get all of them, but he has Do I Dust or Vacuum First? The Office Clutter Cure, Pet Cleanup Made Easy, Done, and Half the Time. Wow, I didn't know he had that many books. And right now I'm thinking, I wonder where I can get them, right? This is 2005, so you can say that it's, he made a few changes. He still has DVDs and some CDs in here, but basically he makes it easy. I have sort of read most of these, and I can definitely recommend these. But then I went down the rabbit hole, and I got The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, which is this is a newer book, How to Free Yourself and Your Family from a Lifetime of Clutter, by Margareta Magnusson, who's Swedish. It's an international bestseller. Now, I made a mistake with this book. I've not read it all, and there's a reason. I didn't DNF it or anything like that, but it annoyed me. And I heard from, I think it was Katja, from Katja Weinhardt. I think her channel name is Turning Pages with Katja now. And she said when she reads a bad review of a book, it kind of makes her not want to read the book. And I was like going down this rabbit hole, so I went to, I didn't go to Reddit. I went to Google, and then it sent me to Reddit. And someone said that they thought that this book was written by a ghostwriter, that it was that badly written. So I had that in my mind, and when I read it, this is written by an older woman, and Swedish death cleaning is basically something one does in Sweden when someone passes away. Before one passes away, you want to clean your house so you don't leave junk for the other person to clean. And that's kind of what minimalism is, and the other rabbit holes I went down. So why didn't I like this book? This book is sort of more of a memoir of her life, and she's quite coy about her age. She says she's between 80 and 100. So someone looked it up and said she was 83. And it says she's an artist. And someone else said that they saw an interview and she had quite a lot of clutter in her, or knickknacks or whatever. So I don't think Don Aslett would really appreciate that. But what I didn't like about it was that she talks about people who hire people to come in after someone dies to take their fancy antiques and sell them and take them off their hands. And there's a lot of rich people in this book, and it made me think of something else about minimalism. But back to the book. Yeah, if it's a bestseller. It's very short. I don't think it's that. It's not a translation as far as I know, but yeah, I didn't think it was very well written. I don't think a ghostwriter wrote it. Also, somebody said she's mean to her 5 children, even though she says some negative things about her children. So, I haven't got to that part yet. and this was written in 2018. And it doesn't say that it, what I think I read was that she moved from the United States back to Sweden, and when she retired. And so I don't think you're going to really get as much out of actually doing the decluttering as you will with Packrats Only, or even Clutter's Last Stand. But it's a different kind of book. It's a book that someone says is depressing because she's saying everyone has to die, so why leave problems for your children? And I think I said that before, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that, but it's just the way, the things that she says. It seems to me that she does like to have a lot of stuff in her house. So she's not a minimalist. So this is not a book about minimalism. It's a book about, if you have a lot of expensive things in your house, this was my take anyway, I haven't read the whole thing, then get rid of it, because the kids are going to fight over them. But anyway, I don't even know if this is in the book. I read this while doing the deep dive. Okay, so that didn't work for me. 2 books I recommend highly are from Francine J., The Miss Minimalist. I don't know if she still has a channel on YouTube, but I simply adored The Joy of Less, a minimalist guide to declutter, organize, and simplify. And in the beginning of her book, it says, "Let go, like a child blows a dandelion in one breath, an exquisite lightness and an immeasurable joy." And her first sentence is, "What if I told you that having less stuff could make you a happier person?" It sounds a bit crazy, doesn't it? That's because every day and everywhere we turn, we receive thousands of messages to the contrary. Buy this and you'll be prettier. Own this and you'll be more successful. Acquire this and your happiness will know no bounds. Well, we've bought this, that, and the other thing, so we must be over the moon, right? For most of us, the answer is no. I love this book. I loved her voice. I loved the way she formatted her chapters with each room, and not only about her house, but just her philosophy of life is wonderful. And she started becoming a minimalist and decluttering when she went on vacation, and she had to drag around a lot of suitcases. And she realized that having less would make her vacation better, and it had. So then she started, well, she's Miss Minimalist, so she wrote a book. And there's a picture of her on her second book, Lightly, which someone recommended, and I want to read these over again. These are books that you skim through at first, at least I do, for the good parts, and the parts that made me feel really comfortable and comforting, I should say. And here's a picture of her. She's quite a beautiful lady. She is the author of The Joy of Less, which was named one of Amazon's best books of the year. Her advice has been featured in the New York Times, House Beautiful, CNN, and other places, and more. And her second book is Lightly, How to Live a Simple, Serene, and Stress-Free Life. I haven't read this one yet, but I know from what the beginning is, I know I'm going to like it, because she has techniques. Now, I have to stop now for a minute, because as you notice, I'm a little hoarse today. That used to be a funny joke in the 50s. Are you a little hoarse? And this time I have lemon water with honey, but I have a straw because I read somewhere that if you drink a lot of lemon water, it erodes your enamel on your teeth, and well, I don't have as many teeth as I used to, so that might not be good. And I'm not sure why I'm hoarse, and I think it might be because there's fog from the volcano, and I start getting sort of like my voice starts changing when that happens. So It's really good. So back to lightly. It's lighten your stuff, item by item, but also she has lighten your stress, lighten your spirit, lighten your step. It sounds like it's going to be a wonderful book. If you've read it, please let me know anything about Francine J, because like some other influencers that I was talking about dealing with mental illness, she sounds like a very authentic person and a very smart person, and I can learn from her. So yeah, these are two books that might work for you, because I think they're going to work for me. And the last book that I want to talk about doesn't have to do with minimalism at all, but it's a book from The Bookish Knitter. If you know Sarah Phalen from The Bookish Knitter, she's a wonderful booktuber. She's in the hospital right now, and please check out her channel. She's just a wonderful person, has a delightful laugh, and she recommends The Babysitter Club by Anne M. Martin. Now, I'm too old to have read this series in my youth, and in fact, I've never heard of it. My daughter, who is in her mid-40s, said she heard of this author. And this is the first book, called Kristy's Great Idea. And I guess the idea is is The Babysitter's Club, and this was printed in 1986. So that's the end of my haul. I have more books coming on the same subject. If this subject interests you, let me know, because I know that there's a lot of channels on YouTube about decluttering and minimalism, and some of them are not authentic. But I'd rather read a book about it, because I know that since I had right in front, you can't see it, and you couldn't see it before, but I had a shelf that was driving me mad, because it was a dust collector. It was very beautiful, but it was a dust collector. It was a 3-tiered television stand, but the television was no longer being watched. It was an old-time television with a DVD player in it. I still have the television. I'm trying to give it away, but it was hot. Every time I looked at it, and the dust, it looked like that picture that I showed you of John Aslett's book. It was just horrible. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and I said, free, if you can haul it away. And they came, and when I had cleaned it up a little bit afterwards, and they came, and they said they just bought a TV, and this was such a blessing. It was so much what we call aloha in that person, and gratitude. And when he carted it away, I felt almost bad, thinking, oh, I hope when the first time that he sees all the dust collect, he doesn't regret hauling it away. But I felt such a wonderful feeling of peace and gratitude of giving something away that I didn't like. And I said, I want that. And I don't have a lot of expensive things. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about. Because if you come from, minimalism in general, if you come from a basic American family, you're going to collect a lot. You're going to collect a lot of things. But if you come from a poor country, you don't see it that way. And you see it as a sign of affluence. There was a PBS special a long time ago called Affluenza. But if you don't have hot water, and a person who I know had that situation, and then you have a hot shower for the first time, you don't want to go back to the cold water showers anymore. Let's put it that way. So there's a fine balance between having enough and gathering a lot of stuff. If you're most people on the planet don't have enough, so we have to sort of think for ourselves, what is enough? We don't have to live in one of those sterile places that you see sometimes on the internet with just one white couch and one painting. That's not going to work if you have family, if you like to collect books. But I did give away a lot of books also, and that is an ongoing process. But I felt so wonderful, not only giving away the three-tiered smoked glass shelf, TV shelf, but I felt I was free. I wanted to jump around and dance and just enjoy the space, because when there's too much stuff, there's space that's lost, and that's also a space that we need to think right, to not be overstimulated, at least for people like me with anxiety, because it's easy for me to become overstimulated with too much things to do. And that's what happened to me this week. I was overstimulated. Funny story that I'll kind of end with. Like I said, I have anxiety, and after I went to the doctor and got my test and had to go for a recheck at the doctor, I was all keyed up, and the doctor is a young doctor, vascular surgeon, and he came to me, and I had just been walking up a hill because, of course, my thinking said, if my blood pressure will go down if I walk up this hill in 90 degrees. Of course, that didn't happen. But he said to me, "How have you been doing? I haven't seen you in a while." I said, "Wonderful!" And he got scared, Great! I really knew that my test was okay. But he says, "Well, you never have to come back. You're fine." I think I scared him because I said, he said, "Your test is, you're okay. You don't have to see me again." I said, "But I want to see you again." I thought that was a funny thing to end with. But I hope that if you enjoyed this wacky video with delay and a lot of books on decluttering, please think of liking, subscribing, and clicking the notification bell. Why not? Like someone said, it's free. I really appreciate all of you, and you make my day just a little happier and calmer. But now I am calmer anyway, because things are settling down a little bit right before the wedding, before the lull, before the wedding. But I hope to be more or less weekly or bi-weekly to share my compulsive, unusual, weirdly, oddly similar books, and maybe some other kind of books too. So until we meet again, aloha, friends.